Well, here's a wild thought. Some of the best games you've never played came out nearly 30 years ago on the original PlayStation. That's right, games with janky character models, wild gameplay concepts, pre-rendered backgrounds, and limited environmental exploration offer experiences you just don't get in modern games anymore. Still not convinced? Just look at how many current PS4 and PS5 titles are remakes or reimaginings of the PlayStation classics. The influence of the PS1 era is everywhere. But hey, if you're skeptical, that's fine. We're just getting started, so why not get that 75GB day one patch downloading and enjoy this video in the meantime. If I had to guess, your first two concerns are probably A, the PS1 console is ancient and prone to failure these days, and B, the graphics are so outdated they are just painful to look at on modern LED TVs. The solution? Well, emulation. If you already know about emulation, that's great, but if you don't, there's never been a better time to get into it. Setting up a PS1 emulator today is simple, fast, and beginner friendly. Personally, I recommend DuckStation. It's super easy to use and packed with customization options. You can boost the resolution, apply widescreen patches, upscale textures, and yes, even turn on some game-breaking cheats if that's your thing. And the difference is staggering. Those old janky PS1 games, they end up looking like modern indie gems you'd find on the Nintendo eShop. Sure, it's not Elden Ring or Gran Turismo 7, but it's more than good enough. And we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Oh, and emulation also saves your hardware. No risk of your aging console dying or your discs getting scratched to death. I still love collecting for the PlayStation though, so I back up my discs to an external hard drive and I play them from there. That said, if you're around my age, you probably get a bit nostalgic about the clunky plastic symphony of inserting a disc, closing the lid, and hitting that big chunky power button. There's a kind of magic in that. So now that we've tackled the most common objections, let's talk about the games.
This car belongs to the Pakistani ambassador.
You see, back in the 90s, there were very clear limitations on the PlayStation's graphical power. This meant developers had to find other ways to stand out, which resulted in some of the wildest games ever made.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the...
That's right, there's a game about a dog learning to become a kung fu master through the art of rap. And Parappa the Rapper isn't the only rhythm game on the PlayStation either. There's the quirky dance game Buster Groove, and Parappa's spiritual successor Gemma Lemmy. And then there's the innovation that is VibRibbon, a game that generates levels based on your music CD collection. Open world games became a thing in the 90s too. Games like Driver, which was inspired by the cop chase scenes and muscle car movies of the 70s and 80s. The game had a dedicated button just to do a wheel spin. It doesn't serve any great purpose when escaping the cops. It's there because, well, just because you can. Horror games really found their feet on the PS1 too.
In the dark.
The B-movie vibes are strong in these games, but somehow it works. There are still times when you feel unprepared and alone, and you can't forget the amazing dialogue.
It was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
Konami came along with Silent Hill and blurred the lines between psychological torment and nightmare fuel.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
It's also an example of the ingenuity of the time, using a thick fog to cover the short draw distance, but enhance the mystery and terror of what lurks within it. And then there's the near endless plethora of weird, obscure, and experimental titles in the sea of over 4,000 games released around the world during the PlayStation's lifetime. See, PS1 games feel like they come from a time when anything could be a game, and sometimes, a lot of times, it actually worked.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Storytelling in video games became more prominent in the 80s, but it reached truly breathtaking heights in the 90s when the spacious CD-ROM format of the PS1 allowed for cinematic action that rivaled movies. Okay, maybe rivaled is the wrong word. Nonetheless, seeing such a leap in how stories were presented was jaw-dropping. And as a result, we got some of the most emotional interactive experiences of all time. Games like Final Fantasy VII tackle themes of identity, loss, and existential dread. The characters were deep and nuanced, quirky and lovable. And the pain of that scene was so profound, it's still spoken about to this day. Chrono Cross weaved a poetic, melancholic tale about parallel worlds, fate and sacrifice. Its story was dreamlike, mysterious, and haunting. And it wasn't just the visuals that blew us away, it was the audio too. Like Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Cross is elevated by a soundtrack that wasn't just made, but crafted to hit every emotional beat. And we can't forget Metal Gear Solid. Apart from its innovative boss fights and tactical stealth gameplay, it's arguably more famous for its long, dialogue-heavy cutscenes.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
But this doesn't bog the game down, it adds to the immersion. Hideo Kojima set out to craft a cinematic experience, and if the critical acclaim and fan devotion are anything to go by, he nailed it. But what if you don't want to spend dozens of hours on a single PlayStation game? What if your time for gaming is limited and you just want that punch of fun in bite-sized portions? Enter the session game. You can enjoy the masterpiece that is Tekken 3 in manageable chunks, playing through each character's arcade story at your own pace. Or dive into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, where its signature 2-minute runs deliver bursts of addictive trick-based fun. And hey, unlock Spider-Man while you're at it. Or embrace the chaos of Twisted Metal, tackling one explosive level at a time, uncovering each character's batshit crazy backstory as you go. Or get lost in Gran Turismo 2, where you gradually tune your machine into a track-hugging speed demon. Oh boy. I'm getting carried away, aren't I? Can you blame me? The PS1 was my first real taste of gaming. It was a big chunk of my childhood, and if you're in your mid to late 30s, I'm sure it was a big one for you too. Sure, maybe I am just gushing about the PlayStation. Maybe this is just my love letter to it. Some people might see this video and say, hey, thanks, but I'm good with my PS5 or the soon-to-be released Switch 2. I don't have time for those old games. And that's okay. But for me, it's thanks, but I don't need a modern, incomplete, always online, wallet draining, copy-paste game. I've got everything I need in these classics, old and outdated as they may be.